Hello everybody, I'm Don Williams, next to Nick Kosmider from the Avalanche-Journal and RedRaiders.com. Thank you for joining us today. We are right at the end of Texas Tech preseason football camp, a few days away from the season opener against Northwestern State. We thought we would talk about some players who over the last 2.5 weeks have impressed us in camp and maybe improved their stock. I'll let you start, Nick. Who do you think?
Yeah, it's hard to believe that it's almost all over. We're going to start out on defense, and I think the top player that has impressed me is Cornelius Douglas, the senior who spent the first 2.5 or almost 3 seasons of his career at inside receiver. Was moved to cornerback at the end of last year. Obviously, it's a tough switch to put a guy in the last 3 games of the season and say, hey, play one of the most difficult to grasp positions on the field. But he's taken it real strong, and he's worked really hard since the beginning of spring camp to kind of really look at the fundamentals of how you play the game. He's gotten a lot better at his footwork, at reading receivers' hips, at knowing when to look back at the quarterback. And so he's really improved, and they have to have improvement at that position because they had absolutely 0 interceptions from cornerbacks last year. So they're going to have some guys make plays. So that's my guy. Don, who have you seen on defense that's impressed you?
You know, I'm going to go with a young guy, and this may be a little bit off the wall, and we may not even see a whole lot of this guy this year, but a guy that just day after day after day in preseason camp that sticks out to me and makes plays is J.J. Gaines, who's a backup safety, redshirt freshman. Now, he has blocked at every position because at safety, he's behind Cody Davis. He's not going to be a nickel back because Trey Porter and Jarvis Phillips have those positions locked down pretty much 1-2. But this is a guy who played all sorts of positions in high school, was the best athlete on his high school team, quarterback, receiver, cornerback, but he actually did not play safety in high school, and may be a situation in which he may be better at this than anything. And I think he's a guy, again, because of the experience in front of him, you might not see a whole lot of him this year, but I think he's a real bright spot for this team. And in the future, this is a guy who's, I think, hands down is going to be a starting safety for the next 3 years here. Let's see, that's defensive side of the ball. Offensive side of the ball, whole bunch of candidates. I know Tommy Tuberville is not real happy with the execution, but individually, there are some guys who stick out.
Yeah, you're right. On offense, it's hard to pick just because there is such a deep, talented pool of guys. I'm going to go with Bradley Marquez, the sophomore wide receiver from Odessa. You know, it's kind of almost surprising because Bradley spent most of his summer playing minor league baseball in the Mets organization back in Tennessee. So when he reported for fall camp, he admitted that he was probably going to be a little bit behind in terms of getting back into the groove of catching passes, of running routes and all that stuff. But it just doesn't seem like his return to the game has taken him too long. He's just a guy who is very solid. He doesn't necessarily blow you away with his speed or his ability to juke defenders, but he seems to always be in the right place at the right time. He has great hands, and he's really becoming a guy that Seth Daggy and Michael Brewer both can trust. He makes catches in traffic. He's just a guy that you can always sort of turn to and know that he's going to be able to make a big play for you. And he's one of the many guys that they have as an option at receiver, but I think his consistency will allow us to see big things from him this year.
I'm tempted to go with another receiver because Javon Bell's been so impressive, and he's going to be a terrific player this year, and I agree with you on Marcus too. But I'll give a little love to an offensive lineman. Ladrin Waddle, I think, is going to have a really big senior year. I know he was second-team All-Conference, AP All-Conference last year, and the guy looks. I think he's playing at a good weight right now. He looks pretty light on his feet. I know one thing that jumped out at me a week or 10 days or so ago was everyone was real interested to see Pete Robertson got moved to defensive end and has some speed and athletic ability, and everyone was real fired up to see what he could do. And then one day I go watch one-on-one drills, and Adrian Waddle puts Pete on the ground 2 plays in a row. There wasn't any slip or anything. He just manhandled him and had no problem with him. I think he's going to be in real good position to handle the pass rushers that come at Seth Daggy this year, and I think with the emphasis on Tommy Tuberville's continued emphasis on the run game and more work on that, I think he'll become a little bit better drive blocker this year as well.
We look forward to seeing it all. You can keep with us right here on RedRaiders.com, LubbockOnline.com. For Don Williams, I'm Nick Kosmider. Have a great day.